Why the devil are we anyway?
Welcome back to Dark Corners Streaming. Currently streaming on Amazon Prime, The Master of the World opens in a small American town where something odd is happening.
Come near, ye nations, to hear.
Vincent Price as the voice of God. Of course not, as some balloonists find out when they investigate. I'd never seen The Master of the World, but anything with Price is worth a look. Made at the same time that Price was appearing in Roger Corman's Poe films, The Master of the World was also made for AIP and was perhaps an attempt to start a science fiction series with Price to run alongside the horror one.
The future belongs to the flying machine.
Much of the crew from the Corman films remains, including set designer Daniel Haller, composer Les Baxter and writer Richard Matheson, adapting the Jules Verne novels Robur the Conqueror and Master of the World. Neither of which I have read, though I understand that the film's plot is not really similar to either. The balloonist investigators are picked up by Price's Robur and brought aboard his remarkable vessel.
A flying ship!
The effects are a little shonky. Amongst the investigators is Charles Bronson.
This is the world we're living in. Not a drawing room, so don't speak to me about words of honor.
Who had previously appeared with Price in House of Wax and was riding high after the Magnificent Seven, and Henry Hull, Universal's first werewolf 25 years earlier.
I don't care to listen to your excuses. They're as worthless as your promises.
Touch of scenery chewing. Mary Webster and David Frankham round out the inevitable and predictable love triangle.
And the other gentleman is my fiancé.
Robur's invention astounds the newcomers.
And it would indeed, Mr. Strock, were this ship not built entirely of paper.
But his attitude, while not unfriendly, is mysterious.
Regarding this ship, I shall inform no government at all.
And, after a fairly ineffectual escape attempt,
We're being abducted!
they find out why Robur keeps his airship secret.
In 20 minutes, your ship will be sent to the bottom.
But the warship below fires on him. Robur is on a mission.
I am a man unto myself, Mr. Prudent, who has declared war against war.
To bring an end to global conflict.
By using the threat of invincible power, Mr. Strock.
He does warn people in advance, but if they do not heed his warnings... on the theory that a few hundred or even thousand lives now will save millions in the future. A philosophy with which his passengers take issue.
What you did was an act of pure barbarism.
This was AIP's biggest budget picture to date, but even so, they have bitten off more than they can chew. Most unfortunate when the cheapness undermines the drama.
Glory!
The use of stock footage from Henry V makes London centuries out of date and fails to match up with footage from elsewhere. The film is set 18 years before Tower Bridge was even started, but it's the inconsistency that hurts, along with some tonally wayward comedy.
So what matters the wreckage in a small galley when we are trying to prevent the wreckage of the world?
Still, I don't think that's the real problem. Price gives a first-rate performance with real heart.
It is quite obvious that you do not understand me, and in all probability you never will.
Conveying Robur's uneasiness with the path he has chosen.
They want war. I'll show them war.
The other characters, the heroes we have to call them, just don't register.
Say I kill you!
It doesn't help that they plan to blow up the airship on the theory that a dozen lives now will save hundreds or even thousands in the future without realising the irony. But this isn't about whose side you're on or who's likeable, and none of them is likeable. They're just not engaging, especially alongside Price.
That is my way. That is the only way for a man of dedication.
And I was interested to read, and again, haven't read the book, so forgive me if I'm wrong, that the analogous characters in Robur the Conqueror are not sympathetic. Bottom line, I hoped this would be more fun than it was. Instead, I found it too long, too slow, and without enough incident to sustain it. There's ideas, but not a lot going on. Then again, Vincent Price.
Disarm or perish.
Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Any thoughts on this one or on other Jules Verne adaptations? There's a few out there. Let us know in the comments below.